In a forgotten corner of a small village lived a boy named Arif. The village had dusty roads, broken streetlights, and dreams that rarely survive beyond childhood. Arif was one of the poorest boys there. His pockets were always empty, not just of money, but of certainty. His clothes were old and faded. His slippers were torn so badly that he tied them with rope. Many nights, his stomach slept hungry, but his eyes never slept without tears. Arif's father worked as a daily wage laborer. Some days he found work, some days he returned home with nothing but silence. His mother cleaned houses, her hands cracked from years of hard work. They lived in a small mud house that leaked during rains. Poverty was not just their condition, it was their shadow, following them everywhere. But inside Arif lived something dangerous. A big dream. He dreamed of changing his family's life. He dreamed of respect. He dreamed of a future where his parents would not bow their heads in shame. But every time he dared to speak his dream, the world crushed it. Dreams are for rich children, villagers said. First fill your stomach, then think big, teachers warned. A boy with empty pockets should not waste time dreaming, relatives mocked. Each word felt like a slap. Arif began to doubt himself. Maybe they were right. Maybe dreams were a luxury he could not afford. One evening, after being insulted at school for unpaid fees, Arif walked aimlessly and sat near an old banyan tree. Tears rolled down his face. He whispered to himself, "Why was I born poor?" That night, an old man named Shivdas Baba, known in the village as a quiet thinker, noticed Arif's sadness. He sat beside him and asked softly, "Why do your eyes carry so much weight, child?" Arif poured his heart out. "Baba, I want to do something big, but everyone says I am nothing. I have no money, no support, no power." The old man picked up a small stone from the ground and placed it in Arif's palm. "Tell me," he asked, "what is this?" "A stone," Arif replied. Baba smiled. "To the world, yes. But if this stone believes it can fly, and if someone throws it with force, it can break glass. Power is not in what you are. Power is in what you believe you can become." Those words struck Arif deeply. From that day, he made a silent promise to himself. "I will think big, even if I am poor." Life did not become easier. In fact, it became harder. His father fell ill. Medical bills piled up. Arif started working after school at a roadside food stall, washing plates until midnight. His hands burned from soap, his body ached, but his mind stayed awake. Every night, under a dim kerosene lamp, Arif studied borrowed books. When he couldn't afford notebooks, he wrote on old newspapers. When he couldn't attend tuition, he taught himself. He failed exams, was laughed at again, but he never stopped. He remembered Baba's words every time doubt knocked. Years passed. Slowly, Arif learned skills, repairing radios, fixing phones, understanding machines. He saved every single coin. While others spent on festivals, Arif invested in tools. While others slept, Arif learned. One day, with trembling hands and empty pockets, he opened a tiny repair stall using borrowed money. The signboard was hand-painted. Business was slow. Some days no customers came. But Arif treated every customer with honesty and respect. Gradually, people noticed. The boy who once begged for fees was now known for his hard work. His small stall grew into a shop. His shop grew into a workshop. His workshop grew into a business that employed others. The same people who laughed at his dreams now said, "We always believed in you." Arif only smiled. One evening, years later, Arif stood outside his office, watching his parents rest peacefully inside a proper house. He remembered the boy with empty pockets, broken slippers, and big dreams. Shivda's Baba visited him again. "You were poor," Baba said, "but you never thought poor." Arif folded his hands and replied, "Baba, my pockets were empty, but my thinking was full, and that changed everything." Dear friend, if a poor boy with nothing but pain and belief can rewrite his destiny, so can you. Your current situation does not decide your future. Your thinking does. Think big, even when your pockets are empty, especially when your pockets are empty, because that is where greatness is born. Have you ever noticed something strange about your dreams? The moment you tell people about them, something changes. The excitement fades, the fire weakens, and slowly, the dream disappears. This is the story of how silence saved a life. In a quiet town surrounded by hills, there lived a man named Arif. He was known as a dreamer, not because he achieved great things, but because he always talked about great things. Arif dreamed loudly. At the tea stall, he spoke about starting a business. During walks, he explained how he would become successful. At night, he shared plans of a better future with friends. People admired his vision. They encouraged him. They said, "You're different. You're going to make it." Every time Arif heard those words, his chest filled with pride. He felt accomplished before doing anything at all. But days passed. Weeks passed. Nothing changed. The business never started. The plans never moved beyond conversations. And slowly, people stopped asking. Inside, Arif felt confused. Why does my motivation vanish? He wondered, why do my dreams feel so heavy after I speak them? One evening, while sitting alone near a river, Arif noticed an old fisherman nearby. The man had been fishing in that same spot for years. Quiet, focused, consistent. Arif finally spoke. "Sir, may I ask you something?" The fisherman nodded. "I have big dreams," Arif said, "but I lose energy every time I talk about them. What's wrong with me?" The old man smiled, still watching the water. "Tell me," he said softly, "when you catch a fish, do you shout before pulling the net, or after?" Arif frowned. "After, of course." The fisherman chuckled. "Exactly." The next morning, the fisherman invited Arif to his small hut. He placed two clay lamps on the table. One was lit, protected by glass. The other had no cover. He took the uncovered lamp and blew gently. The flame vanished instantly. Then he pointed to the protected one. It burned steadily. "Dreams are flames," the fisherman said. "When they're young, even a small wind can kill them." Arif listened closely. "When you speak your dreams too early," the fisherman continued, "you expose them to opinions, praise, doubt, jealousy, and expectations. That noise steals the fuel meant for action." Arif felt something tighten inside him. "You mistake applause for progress," the man said calmly. "Your mind feels rewarded before the work begins. And once the reward is received, the hunger disappears." That day, Arif made a decision. For the first time in his life, he chose silence. He picked one small goal, nothing grand. He wanted to learn a single skill. No announcements, no explanations, no social approval. Every morning, he worked quietly. Some days were boring. Some days were difficult. But something was different. Because no one knew, no one judged. Because no one expected, no one pressured. Because no one praised, the fire stayed alive. Weeks passed. Slowly, Arif improved. His confidence came from effort, not words. His pride came from discipline, not compliments. One day, a friend noticed a change. "You've been quiet lately," the friend said. "What are you up to?" Ara smiled gently. "I'm working." That was all he said. Months later, the results became visible. People noticed his growth, his skill, his calm confidence. They were surprised, not because he talked about success, but because success quietly spoke for him. Ariv finally understood the truth. Silence doesn't kill dreams. Noise does. Silence protects focus. Silence preserves energy. Silence forces action. From that day on, Ariv followed one rule: never announce a seed. Let it become a tree first. And his life changed, not loudly, not suddenly, but permanently. Now ask yourself, how many dreams have you spoken instead of built? How much energy have you spent explaining instead of doing? The world doesn't need to hear your plans. It only needs to see your results. So protect your dreams. Work quietly. Let success make the noise. Because the strongest dreams are born in silence and revealed only when they are ready.